Hey guys, welcome back. It's Joseph. Quick and simple gospel. Yeshua, Jesus, came to this earth, lived a perfect 33 years, was crucified on a cross for our sins, buried in the tomb for 3 days, and rose from the grave on the third day. We are saved through faith in Christ alone and by no other name. Amen. So good afternoon, guys. Hope y'all are doing well today. In the news this week, vehicle plows into crowd waiting to enter nightclub in Los Angeles, injuring 30 people. So we're going to cover that today. Got a couple other things to cover, and we'll give it a few minutes, wait for a few people to jump in, and then we'll go ahead and get started. Hey Linz, how you doing? God bless you too. Hope you guys are having a great day. Let's see how we're looking on the screen here. All right, that looks good. Hey Connie, good morning. Guys, do me a favor, when you come in, please hit the like button. Very much appreciated. Helps out the algorithm and helps more people find the video. And also, please hit the share button. That way we can get this out to more people. Alright guys, we'll go ahead and get started. Alright guys, just give me a second to get all set up and then we'll get going. Alright guys, as you're going to see, this is another Masonic ritual, all by the numbers. Tons of connections to Freemasonry. Alright? So here we go. Vehicle plows in a crowd waiting to enter nightclub in Los Angeles, injuring 30 people. Oh. And this article from July 19th. A man was dragged from his car by enraged bystanders and shot after he plowed a vehicle into a crowd in Los Angeles, leaving 7 people critically injured and at least 23 others hurt outside a nightclub early Saturday morning, police said. 2 law enforcement sources familiar with the situation said the suspect was kicked out of the venue for being intoxicated and disruptive. Alright guys, so we're going to break this down all by the numbers using gematria, which is simply letters as numerals. And once you learn the simple code of coding letters into numbers, you can see right through the scripted coded news every day. Alright guys, so the first thing I want to point out, the mayor of Los Angeles is Karen Bass. Her birthday is October 3rd. So not including the end date, this happened 76 days before her birthday. And in gematria, vehicle ramming equals 76. All right? And they say the suspected gunman used a silver revolver, which is also 76 in the same cipher. And see over here it says Los Angeles first responders described very chaotic scene. That's also 76. All right? So 76 days before the mayor's birthday, vehicle ramming 76. Silver Revolver 76, very chaotic scene, 76. And including the end date, it was 77 days before the mayor's birthday. And notice vehicle ramming is also 77. So either way you look at it, whether you do the 76 days before her birthday, not including the end date, or the 77 days before her birthday, vehicle ramming is 76 and 77. All right? This happened in California. California equals 52 and 65. Like car ramming is 52 and 65 in the same ciphers. So car ramming equals California in multiple ciphers. So the driver was in a Nissan Versa, which equals 75. This happened on Santa Monica Boulevard, which equals 75. Ramming equals 75. It's the LAPD investigating. LAPD equals 75, and order out of chaos is also 75. Nissan Versa is 75 and 42, like ramming is 75 and 42. Isn't that interesting? So Nissan Versa equals ramming. At least 30 injured after car plows into crowd outside a music venue in Los Angeles. So music venue, 42. Nissan Versa, 42. Ramming, 42. Club carnage. See how they highlight club carnage here? It equals 42. Nightclub, 42. And Freemason, 42. That's a lot of 42s. Ramming, club carnage, Nissan Versa, music venue, nightclub, and Freemason. They're all 42. Scene shows car crash damage outside Hollywood nightclub after dozens injured. Hollywood, 48. Vehicle attack, 48. Nightclub, 48. Freemason, 48. At least 30 hurt after car hits crowd outside Los Angeles club. Los Angeles club, 147 and 48, like Freemason is 147 and 48. And look at this. Nightclub is a perfect match to Freemason in every cipher across the board. So yeah, Los Angeles club has that 147 like Freemason. Look, Los Angeles club is 147.48. Freemason, 147.48. Nightclub, 147.48. But nightclub is a perfect match to Freemason in every cipher. Scene shows car crash damage outside Hollywood nightclub after dozens injured. So Hollywood equals 33. You have the LAPD investigating, LAPD 33, Masonry 33, the highest degree of the Scottish Rite, the 33rd degree. Car crash, that's CC, C the third letter, so CC is 33. And club carnage, another CC 33. And speaking of 33 and LAPD, I figured I'd bring this up again. Remember, the new LA riots started 33 years after the original LA riots, which were all about the beating of Rodney King, which happened on March 3rd, 3-3. Protests, 33. Mexico, 33. Mexican, 33. Race war, 33. Police, 33. Masonry, 33. We had the guy with the 33 on his back who crashed his motorcycle into the LAPD. See the number 33 on his back there. And then this all happened 137 days after Trump took office. National Guard 137 to 33rd prime number. So I figured I'd mention those again. Here, let me set this down for 1 second, guys. Just want to look something up real quick. And guys, do me a favor when you come in, please hit that like button. Very much appreciated. Okay. Hey Diane, how you doing? Hey Katie. All right, so moving on. More connections to Freemasonry. Victims were transported to local hospitals and trauma centers, according to Captain Adam Van Gerpen, Public Information Officer for the Los Angeles City Fire Department. And it says the incident took place outside the music venue, the Vermont, near the intersection of Santa Monica Boulevard and Vermont Avenue. And then it also says a fight had broken out outside of the club prior to the incident, Maria Medrano told the Associated Press. And the suspected gunman, he was wearing a blue jersey, they say. So anyways, look at all these 58s. Adam Van Gerpen, 58, Vermont Avenue, 58, Maria Medrano, 58, blue jersey, 58, the Freemasons, 58, and Freemasonry, 58. Vehicle ramming, 139, like Freemasonry, is 139. And remember, this guy was shot, allegedly. They pulled him out of the car and shot him, I guess. The gunman, who's still at large, allegedly, he's 5 feet 9 inches. Freemasonry is 59. They say he's 5'9". And also, Carr is another 59, for the record. LA car ramming equals 56. The gunman is a Hispanic male, which equals 56. Masonic ritual, 56. And Freemasons, 56. The gunman is Hispanic, which equals 43. Freemasons, 43. And Masonic, 43. Police said they arrested the driver, Fernando Ramirez, 29. And so he's 29 years old, right? Masonic is also 29. And his name is Fernando Ramirez, which is a perfect match to the Masonic order in 3 out of the 4 base ciphers. The Masonic order, also known as Freemasonry. So as you can see, this whole thing is connected to Masonry. And then he was shot, right? Shot is 62 and 17, like Mason is 62 and 17. And this happened in Los Angeles, California on July 19th, a date that can be written 19/7, right? The 19th day of the 7th month, like 197. Los Angeles, California, 197, ramming, 197. And this happened with 165 days left in the year. Los Angeles, California, vehicle ramming, 165. Car attack, 165. What are the odds? 165 days left in the year, and car attack is 165. And then there was obviously a shooting connected to this story. Shooting and gunfire, they're both 109 and 37, like Los Angeles is 109 and 37. All right, guys, that's it for the first part. But don't go away yet. I got 2 more stories for you. But if anybody would like to support the channel, here's how you can do so. Any support, very much appreciated. I got PayPal, Zelle, Cash App, Venmo. You can also mail something to my home address. And thank you so much to everyone who does support. You guys are amazing. right, 2 more stories for you. Here's your sign, guys. Rapture ahead. 1 Thessalonians 4:17. Then we who are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air, and thus shall we always be with the Lord. Harpazo. I can't wait. Get ready. Jesus is coming soon. Here, let's cover... Here, we'll save Obama for last. We'll cover this Genius Act real quick. All right, Trump signs Genius Act delivering milestone law to crypto industry. We got this news July 18th. Let me check in with the chat real quick. Hey, Cody. Let me say hi to everyone. Hey, Margaret. Hey, Decoding with Cody. Hey, Patrick. Hey, Annie. Hope you guys are doing well. Okay, so Trump signs Genius Act delivering milestone law to crypto industry. On the perfect day, we got this news on July 18th, and that was 34 days after Trump's birthday. In Gematria, crypto equals 34. And this also happened on a day with 34 date numerology. 7 plus 18 plus 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 5, 34, crypto 34, and this happened 34 days after Trump's birthday. Crypto is also 29, like Trump is 29. Cryptocurrency bill 95, President Donald Trump 95. Hold on, did I miss something here? Oh, there it is. I just had my slides a little out of order. No biggie. Cryptocurrency bill 95, President Donald Trump 95. Crypto legislation 220, Donald John Trump 220. Trump takes victory lap over signing stablecoin bill. Stablecoin bill has that 54, like Genius Act 54 and Jesuit Order 54. And then Genius Act is 144 and 54, like Jesuit Order 144 and 54. Trump signs Genius Act delivering milestone law. I thought it was interesting. Milestone law is a perfect match to Donald J. Trump in every cipher. And for the record, guys, this is, one step closer to the B system in cashless society. So, much love, Gma Love and Gregory. Trump signs landmark crypto bill into law. Crypto bill 138, federal 138, Donald Trump 138. And this happened on July 18th, the day leaving 166 days left in the year. Donald Trump signs cryptocurrency bill 166. All right. All right, check out this headline from July 19th. Barack Obama says men need gay friends to teach empathy, be role models to kids. Sounds like something the Antichrist would say, right? All right, so you see the date. This was covered by Fox News. July 19th. The 19th day of the 7th month, like 197. So this was in the news on 19/7, right? Well, the Antichrist equals 197. Well, he made these statements when he was on the podcast, which was on July 16th, the 197th day of the year. Obama recently appeared on the July 16th episode of his wife and brother-in-law's podcast, IMO. Okay, so I remember I decoded that, and I said, what a perfect day. Because that story was about the divorce rumors. They weren't talking about the gay friends when I covered that story. But anyways, I pointed out back then, isn't it interesting that Obama's in the news on the 197th day of the year, and then Fox News has this story on the 19th day of the 7th month, 197. You see what I mean? He made the statement on the 197th day of the year, and then Fox covers the news on 19/7. So we have a double 197. The Antichrist equals 197. Here's the story I covered earlier in the week. Obama's joke about divorce rumors. That was the 197th day of the year. The Antichrist 197, the beast system 197. We also covered this story this week. Obama admin manufactured intelligence to create 2016 Russian election interference narrative. See how they highlight manufactured, which equals 197? See how Obama admin is 197, like the Antichrist 197? How about this story we covered not too long ago? Israel activates Barak Megan aerial defenses for system's first ever interception. Barak means lightning. Bama, the heights, like Luke 10:18. I beheld Satan as lightning fall from heaven. Heaven, the heights. Barak, lightning, right? Anyways, look at Barak Megan. 197. Like the Antichrist. It's called Barak, guys. You know? So, he said, it says, former President Barack Obama encouraged men to have gay friends to teach their boys empathy and be role models on the Wednesday episode of the IMO podcast with Michelle Obama and Craig Robinson. IMO podcast, perfect match to Freemasons. And then IMO podcast has the 115 and the 43, like Freemasons 11543, Masonic 11543, and Lucifer 11543. And then you see how they highlight the word empathy? Empathy is 88 and 34, like beast is 88 and 34. And then this is the IMO podcast. IMO has that 222, like hell, 222. The Antichrist, Barack Obama, 222. The guy who tested positive for COVID 222 days from his birthday in the year 2022. Declared a national emergency 222 days from Obama's birthday. Declared a pandemic 222 months after 9/11. They called it Wuhan coronavirus, 222, right? And then IMO is a perfect match to hell in 3 out of the 4 base ciphers, and that 222 in Sumerian. But anyways, I just thought it was interesting that Fox News would run this story on 19/7, and the statement was made on the 197th day of the year. Kind of a confirmation with what I've been talking about with Obama and the 197. But anyways, let's go back. Let me just make sure there's nothing else to cover. I think we're caught up now. Covered the Genius Act. If you missed the last live stream, we covered the explosion in LA that happened. By the way, this story that came out about Obama, Obama admin manufactured intelligence with the Russian election interference. If you missed that decode, it was Tulsi Gabbard who released that news. Tulsi Gabbard is 44 years old. Tulsi Gabbard equals 44, Obama number 44. For the record, IMO, it was a perfect match to hell in 3 out of the 4 base ciphers. The only cipher I didn't show was reverse. And just a fun fact, IMO equals 44. That's the name of that podcast, Obama number 44. But it was also that story released by Tulsi Gabbard. It was 22 weeks and 2 days after she took office, or you could say 156 days. So you got the 222 and the 156, like the Antichrist Barack Obama, 222, 156. Someone's talking about floods in South Korea. Yeah, looks like that started yesterday. I mean, it is in the news today. But yeah, today, of course, is the 201st day of the year. Weather controlled 201. But yeah, this is in the news today. Should we talk about the number 201? Do a little freestyling? But yeah, there is some flooding news today. Thanks for the heads up. 201st day of the year. I'll give you some fun facts about the 201 since we're hanging out. All right, so we got flooding today in the news. 201st day of the year. The old 201, weather control, 201. Remember the story we just did about the Rainmaker CEO, Augustus Dorico? Let's look him up. Let me type in Rainmaker. Here he is. Rainmaker CEO Augustus Dorico said his company, which works with farmers in Texas during times of drought, unequivocally had nothing to do with the flooding. So, you know, another flooding story connected to Augustus Dorico, 201. What are the odds? Like weather control 201, the Jesuit order 201. And remember, the Jesuit order is a perfect match to weather control in 3 out of the 4. I'll just show you that. Weather control. The Jesuit order. There you go. The Jesuit order equals weather control in 3 out of the 4. But yeah, the big number here, the 201, since it is the 201st day of the year. Yeah, let's see what else we can find out here. 14 people die in South Korea. Well, that's a big story. This one says 17 dead. Here, let me set this down real quick. Hold on. All right. Since it is the 201st day of the year, and if you guys have anything to add with the South Korea, I haven't looked into it. Let me know. Besides the obvious 201 connection, I mean, what more do you need to know? It's in the news today. All right, BBC, Reuters. Yeah, let me do something else. Hold on. But yeah, let me know if you guys have anything to add, and then we'll talk about some more 201s. Like today's the anniversary of the alleged moon landing on the 201st day of the year. Neil Alden Armstrong 201. Well, look at that. South Korea floods equals the Jesuit order in 2 ciphers, including the 69 like weather control. So there's that too. Let me show you that. Let me just move this out of the way. Hey Paul, hey Julie, hey Mark, hey Brian, thank you. So yeah, the Jesuit order is 69 and 84, just like South Korea flood, 69 and 84. And then let me show you how weather control has that 69. Yeah, me too, Paul. Hey, Eric. Here. Weather control. We're doing it live, y'all. Weather control. The Jesuit order. South Korea floods. Give me 1 more minute here, maybe 2 minutes. Amen, Paul. Yep, Jesus is coming soon. I can't wait. And I'm sure there's a lot more to this. If I were to spend a couple hours on it, I'm sure I'd find all kinds of stuff. But, I mean, what more do you need to know? Flooding in the news on the 201st day of the year. So today also has 52 date numerology, like flood 52. So let's add that in there. Then we'll talk about a few 201s, a couple fun facts. Amen, Linda. Okay. So, we got South Korea floods in the news today. At least 17 dead in South Korea floods. All right. And today is the 201st day of the year, 201. Like weather control, 201, the Jesuit order, 201. I showed you the Jesuit order is a perfect match to weather control in 3 out of the 4. Remember, we just talked about the Rainmaker CEO, Augustus Dorico, 201. And then also South Korea floods, 6984, like the Jesuit order, 6984. And then South Korea floods, 69, the Jesuit order, 69, weather control, 69. And today has date numerology of 52, 7 plus 20 plus 25, 52, and the word flood equals 52. So there's your quick 5-minute decode on the South Korea floods. But now let's talk some more about the 201. Let's see. Let's talk about, let's do 201 and hit most recent. Of course, we got to talk about what am I trying to say here? There's so many 201s. We've got to talk about Pope Francis, right? Remember this? Trump indicted again, an election subversion case brought by Jack Smith, John Lumen Smith, his real name, 201. Oh, how about this one? In the news, November 25th, Special Counsel Jack Smith drops the election subversion and classified documents cases against Donald Trump. Wow, that happened 201 days before Trump's birthday, when John Lumen Smith is 201 and classified documents 201. Wow, they sure like that number. Let's see, what else we have here? Just had the actor from Nip Tuck die, Dr. Christian Troy, 201. Just had Caitlyn Jenner's manager die, Caitlyn Jenner, 201. We had that shooting at the in Chicago at the Artist Restaurant and Lounge nightclub, 201, 201 days from the governor's birthday. Remember the first Jesuit Pope, Pope Francis, Mr. 201 himself. Jorge Mario Bergoglio, 201. He lived in, look down here, he lived in suite number 201 at the Domus Sancti Marte, which equals 201. Ignatius of Loyola, 201. That's the founder of the Jesuit order, which equals 201. Catholic Pope, 201. The Georgia Guidestones went down 201 days from the Pope's birthday. Pope Francis died 201 days from the death anniversary of St. Francis of Assisi, who he got his name from. You know the new Alligator Alcatraz? That's at the Dade Collier Training and Transition Airport, which equals 201. Remember Brian Kohberger, the Idaho murders, who just pled guilty? Remember he lived in apartment number 201? Remember that one? And he was found, or he was arrested in the Pocono Mountains, 201. Israel warns Tehran will burn. Tehran will burn, 201. Like, perfect match to the Jesuit order. And remember, Israel did strikes on Iran June 13th, the day leaving 201 days left in the year, when State of Israel is 201. And then remember when Iran launched 181 missiles at Israel 201 days before the leader of Iran's birthday. Remember the 181 missiles, World War III 181, Barack Obama 181, Barack Hussein Obama II 181. What else do we have here? Andrew Cuomo concedes to Zohran Mamdani 201 days after Cuomo's birthday. Food Network star Ann Burrell dead at 55. Her death in the news 201 days from the anniversary of the first episode of Worst Cooks in America. And Food Network star is also 201. Remember the Minnesota lawmaker who was killed, Melissa Ann Hortman, 201. Ananda Lewis died recently from the Ananda Lewis show, 201. You had that plane collision. The plane and the helicopter on the first day of the snake year. 201 days before the movie anniversary, Snakes on a Plane. Runway 33, 201. Remember we were connecting that to Samuel L. Jackson before he popped up at the Super Bowl? Remember? Which was all connected to the planes. Too much to get into right now, but go back and watch my 20 different videos on the planes and the Super Bowl connection. It'll blow your mind. Organizers rally Americans for Tesla takedown, 201. You guys get the point, but let's see if we can find any. I mean, it only lets me go so far back. But we could go on for a long time if we went over all the 201s over the last 5 years. What is this? I don't even know what this is. Trump's New York felony conviction can't keep him from running for president. Felony conviction, 201. What was May 30th? Is that when this was in the news? I don't even know. Yeah, I don't know what I was showing for May 30th here, but whatever happened, it was 201 days before the Pope's birthday and 201 days after the Superior General's birthday. Let's see. If I click on this video, you know what? It'll probably say account terminated. Oh, look at that. Video unavailable. This video is no longer available because the YouTube account associated with this video has been terminated. Huh, why would they go delete someone's channel? Anyways, it looks like I did this story on May 31st, so it looks like this was in the news on May 30th. No big deal. What else we got? Who is the Golden Voyager taking center stage at the closing ceremony at the Olympics? Golden Voyager, 201. Here, give me a second. Let me try to figure out what it was. Hold on. Oh, okay. Allegedly, May 30th is when Trump was found guilty on the 34 felony counts. Is that what it was? see. Okay, I think that's what it was. We were trying to figure out what the May 30th was. Trump was convicted on all counts on May 30th, 2024, becoming the first U.S. president to be convicted of a felony. So that was May 30th, 2024. That's what it is. 201 days before the Pope's birthday, whose name equaled 201, and 201 days after the leader of the Jesuits' birthday. So we got the double 201 there. And then we had this, April 4th, Donald Trump pleads not guilty to 34 felony counts. That was 201 days before Alvin Bragg's birthday. Donald Trump indicted on 7 counts. June 8th, 201 days after Biden's birthday. Remember, classified documents also 201. So you had to be in court for that. June 13th, the day leaving 201 days left in the year, classified documents 201. Here, I'll come back to the 201s. Give me a second. Let me look over here. Since we're talking about the indictments, I didn't plan on going live this long today, but I guess we are. We're just hanging out. Here. We'll come back to the 201s. But since we're talking about the indictments, here we go. So check this out. Don't let me forget to go back to the 201s. Donald Trump indicted in the classified documents. That was on June 8th, right? 6-8. Donald J. Trump, 68. Donald John Trump, 68. Indicted on 6-8, right? Look at this. Indicted equals 68. This is for the classified documents at Mar-a-Lago, which equals 68. What a perfect day, right? Well, on top of that, June 8th, guys, it was the 159th day of the year. Donald Trump, 159. Indictment, 159. How about that? If you think that's a coincidence, Trump was indicted for the insurrection. Trump indicted on charges out of special counsel probe into January 6th. That's the insurrection. He was indicted on August 1st. That was 159 days before the anniversary of the insurrection. 159 days. Insurrection 159, indictment 159, Donald Trump 159. And then another indictment on the 159th day of the year. Back to the one on June 8th. That was with 206 days left in the year. Donald Trump indicted 206, Trump indictment 206. And then this indictment was for the hush money. This was 206 days before Alvin Bragg's birthday. Donald Trump indicted 206. Trump indictment 206. Donald Trump indicted by New York grand jury on the 89th day of the year. Trump indictment 89. Donald Trump indicted 89. Like, every indictment with Trump was by the numbers. The trial started on April 15th, 60 days before Trump's birthday. Donald Trump 60, Alvin Bragg 60, indictment 60. 177 days after Alvin Bragg's birthday. Alvin Bragg 177, like the Jesuit Order 177. Stormy Daniels 177. New World Order 177. 48 weeks before Stormy's birthday. Donald Trump 48, Alvin Bragg 48, indictment 48. And it was 29 days after Stormy's birthday. Stormy 29, Manhattan 29, Trump 29. And then Jack Smith. Trump indicted again, an election subversion case brought by Jack Smith, his real name, John Lumen Smith, 177-201, like the Jesuit Order. And then he dropped the election subversion and classified documents case 201 days before Trump's birthday, when his name is 201 and classified documents 201. Yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much the main points. Let's go back to the 201s real quick. But yeah, I had to give you those fun facts since we're talking about Trump and the indictments. That stuff is pretty undeniable. I think we're on Golden Voyager. Yeah, that's where we were. Let's see what else we can find. We won't spend too much more time. I think you guys get the point. What is this? CDC director tests positive for COVID-19. October 22nd. Rochelle Walensky. That was 201 days after her birthday. Wow. How about that? Like Event 201? Like William Henry Gates 201? We'll get to all that. They had the 201 connection in Squid Game. We could go on forever about the 201. Don't forget That Old Serpent 201, another name for the devil. Hey, South Korea in 201, right? That's the whole reason we're talking about this, the show out of South Korea. Remember in Squid Game, after the first game, 201 players successfully completed the first game. And remember the host, he's not just player 1, he's 2 zeros and a 1. 001. The Son of Perdition, Barack Hussein Obama 201. That Old Serpent 201. King of Babylon, Barack Obama 201. Preparing for Disease X, the newest pandemic simulation, was held 201 days before Obama's birthday. And Event 201 was held on 10/18, like Luke 10/18. I beheld Satan as lightning fall from heaven. Barack means lightning, bomb of the heights. And if you think that's a coincidence, not only was Preparing for Disease X 201 days from Obama's birthday, it was exactly 201 weeks and 0 days after COVID was declared a pandemic. You think that's a coincidence? They had another pandemic simulation 201 weeks after COVID was declared a pandemic. How about that? Like Event 201, the pandemic simulation connected to William Henry Gates 201. Is it all a coincidence, you know? Don't forget about the Clade X pandemic simulation that was held exactly 666 days before COVID was declared a pandemic. Here's the director of Squid Game. Got the 201 behind him. Well, dang, now it's going to bother me because there's another connection with the 201 to Squid Game. Squid Game 2. Don't forget, player 222 wins Squid Game. But, yeah, there's another connection to the 201 with Squid Game. Remember I showed you how that big number with Obama, the 222? Remember, the final season is connected to season 2. They didn't have like a winner in season 2. It continued over to season 3. And it would take me too long to go through the whole Squid Game connection, but long story short, season 2 came out 222 days before Obama's birthday, and the baby of player 222 they let continue the game as player number 222. See how player 222, their name is Kim Jun-hee, perfect match to Squid Game. What are the odds? But anyways. Where is it? And there's another 201 connection to Squid Game. It's after the first 2 games. Either 201 people are killed or 201 people move on. It's one of the two. It's not that big of a deal. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to find it. I don't know why it's not coming up. I know I had that in my decode. This might be what I just looked through, but we'll look one more time. It's like that picture disappeared. There it is. I knew I wasn't crazy. Okay. Thank you, God. So this is the first season of Squid Game. After the first game, 201 players successfully complete the first game. All right, this is season 2. All right. In the first game, 91 were killed. In the second game, 110 were killed. So after 2 games, 201 were killed, bringing the total prize money to 20.1 billion won. There you go. The 201. So yeah, 201 players eliminated after 2 games. But yeah, let me go ahead and give you the quick connection here with the 4. We'll talk about the 456 and the 1018. Then we'll go back to the 201, and then we'll try to wrap this up in the next hour. We're just hanging out today. So if you don't know Squid Game, it's all about the number 456. They got 456 players competing for 45.6 billion Korean won. Player number 456. Let me turn on the chat. I don't even think I got it on. Much love, everyone. But yeah, player number 456, his name is Seung Gi-hun, which equals 456. What are the odds, right? And Gi-hun is also 456. Then we had this story right before Season 2 came out. Who is Han Duck-soo, South Korea's acting president after Yoon impeachment? Han Duck-soo, 456, like Seung Gi-hun. And Squid Game Season 1 came out September 17th, 2021. If you go back 456 days, you land on the birthday of Han Duck-soo, which is June 18th. And Han Duck-soo, 456. So this story, who is Han Duck-soo? This came out December 14th, right? And player number 456, he's got a fictional birthday, October 31st. This story came out 45 weeks and 6 days before player 456's birthday. And look at this. President Barack Hussein Obama equals 456. And Squid Game Season 1 came out 45 weeks and 6 days after player number 456's fictional birthday. And Squid Game also came out 45 weeks and 6 days before Obama's birthday. How about that? And when Obama announced he was running for president, he was 45 years, 6 months, right? 456. More specifically, Obama was 45 years, 6 months, 6 days old when he announced he was running for president. Strong's 4566, Satan, right? And Luke 10:18, I beheld Satan as lightning fall from heaven. Barack means lightning. Obama the Heights. Obama equals dragon. Barack Obama equals dragon. Obama's slogan, yes we can. Listen to it backwards, you'll hear thank you Satan. Obama born on the 216th day of the year, 6 times 6 times 6, 216. Born on the day with 149 days left in the year. Antichrist 149. Add up the 4 base ciphers of Barack Hussein Obama, it equals 666. Remember when Obama was with Eminem in Michigan 103 days after the song he released, Antichrist? 103 days later, Eminem, 103, Obama, 103. First part of the song, the devil came to Michigan, and they were together in Michigan. But anyways, back to the 456, right? Remember, this show is all about the number 456. President Barack Hussein Obama, 456. And it came out 45 weeks and 6 days before Obama's birthday, right? Even Barack H. Obama is 456. Look at this. The fictional birthday of player 456, October 31st, 1974, it's 45 weeks and 6 days after the actor's birthday who plays him. How crazy is that? I mean, that like, your mind should be blown by the 456s, you know? And then you got the 1018 connection. This story about Han Duck-soo, it was in the news 10 months and 18 days from player 456's fictional birthday, 1018. Season 1 came out 10 months and 18 days after his fictional birthday. And Squid Game Season 1 came out 10 months and 18 days before Obama's birthday. How crazy is that? But yeah. Oh, Han Duck-soo is also 666. And anyways. Yeah, Squid Game also came out 44 days after Obama's birthday, number 44. But anyways, let's go back to the 201s for fun. So scroll down, see what else we can find. And I didn't even plan on talking about 201. And here we are, the whole decode about the 201. I think this is where we left off with the CDC director testing positive 201 days after her birthday. That's back when I used to do TikTok. But, yeah. I got banned so many times on TikTok, I just gave up with the TikTok thing. I actually spent a lot of money on TikTok trying to get my videos to get, because you can pay on TikTok to have your videos promoted. I spent over $1,000 on promoting my videos just to keep getting banned. So I gave up. Lisa Marie Presley dead 201 days after the death anniversary of Michael Jackson. Yeah, weren't they married? Oh, Desmond Bain with the 201. I don't see it written on here. Huh. I'll just type it out for you. So Desmond Bain, I'm pretty sure his name equals 201. So why does Desmond Bain matter? You know, the number 201 and the 222 go hand in hand. But anyways, fun fact about Desmond Bain. Check this out. So Desmond Bain, who wears the number 22, he shot 22.2% from the field with 2 assists, 2 blocks, 2 steals, 2 fouls, and 2 turnovers. And it was on 2/2/22, February 2nd, right? So Bain equals 22. He wears the number 22. And then he shot 22.2% from the field, 2 assists, 2 blocks, 2 steals, 2 fouls, 2 turnovers on 2/2/22. And February 2nd equals 2/2/2. But here's the crazy part. He did it 222 days from his birthday. So if you don't think basketball is rigged, you know, don't forget Kobe Bryant scored his career high, 81 points in game number 666 of his career, right? And Kobe Bean Bryant, 81, Mark of the Beast, 81, died in a helicopter, which equals 666. Here, now I got to do, let's see. Since we're talking about February 2nd in the 2/2/2, got to remind you about Andy Reid and what happened with him on February 2nd, 2020. Andy Reid gets his 222nd career win and his first Super Bowl victory on February 2nd, 2020. That's 2/2/2020. February 2nd, 2020 is 2/2/20. J-Lo did the halftime show. J-Lo 2/2/2, February 2nd, 2/2/2. And the Kansas City Chiefs won the Super Bowl 222 weeks after the Kansas City Royals won the World Series. And remember, he lost in the Super Bowl to his former team, the Eagles, which was all connected to all the plane crashes. And if you add up the Super Bowls that the Eagles have been in, Super Bowls 15, 39, 52, 57, 59, it equals 2/2/2. And if you add up the 4 playoff games that the Eagles were in, the combined scores, it equals 2/2/2. And we had the plane crash in Philadelphia 222 days before the mayor's birthday and 222 days after the president of Mexico's birthday, and everyone on the plane was from Mexico, and the little girl was coming from Shriners Hospital. 2/2/2, and the Super Bowl in New Orleans was 2,222 weeks and 2 days after a major plane crash in New Orleans that killed 145 people on board and 8 people on the ground. And then that game against his former team, the Eagles, that was Andy Reid's 222nd game with the Chiefs. Isn't that wild? And then this is all after the Eagles picked up win number 666 all time on the anniversary of Kobe Bryant's death against Washington, leaving Washington on 666 wins all time, just days before a helicopter hit an American Eagle from Kansas in Washington, and Kobe died in a helicopter, and helicopter equals 666. And Kobe scored 81 points, in his career high in game 666, and the Eagles posted a helicopter before the game. And by the way, Kobe was born in Philadelphia. Remember all that? And the Eagles' first Super Bowl was 2 years, 22 weeks, and 2 days from when Kobe was born. And Kobe died 22 weeks and 2 days after his birthday. And he was buried in Corona Del Mar right at the start of coronavirus, which was declared a pandemic 222 months from 9/11. And shout out to Gematria85. Remember, Aaliyah died in a plane crash 22 years, 222 days after she was born. And you had the Azerbaijan Airlines plane, which equals 222, that crashed 222 days after the leader of Kazakhstan's birthday. That's where it crashed, and it was also 222 days before Obama's birthday. And then you had the plane collision with Japan Airlines, Delta Airlines, plane collision 222, Japan Airlines 222, Delta Airlines 222. Remember I covered all this stuff? You have the movie 222 about a near plane collision. You know? I'm not going to go through all this, but anyways. Crazy stuff. Oh, remember the plane crash in, well, this is the pilot. Well, here, man, I'm going too far. I'm getting sidetracked with so many things now. Remember the pilot of the helicopter that crashed was Andrew Eves, 1831. That happened 1,831 days after Kobe died. And the plane and helicopter equals 159. Helicopter 159. There were figure skaters on board 159. And that happened 159 days after Kobe's birthday. More proof that this is all connected to Kobe. And then the pilot of the plane, Sam Lilly, 135.54, like Kobe Bean Bryant, 135.54. Then you had the air ambulance jet crash in Philadelphia. Air ambulance jet, 135.54, like Kobe Bean Bryant, Fly Eagles Fly, 135.54. And this is the pilot in Philadelphia. Alan Montoya just happens to equal Kobe Bryant in two ciphers. Alan Montoya, 41.58. Kobe Bryant, 41.58. And then Alan Montoya equals Roosevelt in Super Bowl. Remember, it happened near the Roosevelt Mall on 131, I think it happened. Roosevelt, perfect match to Super Bowl, including the 131. Yeah, it happened 60 months and 6 days after Kobe died. Philadelphia, 606. And it happened at 606. Philadelphia crashed at 606 with 6 on the plane, 6 houses on fire, 6 cars on fire, 6 sent to the hospital. And the Philadelphia Eagles were on 666 all-time wins going to the Super Bowl. But yep, Philadelphia 606 happened at 606, and it happened 60 months and 6 days after Kobe died. Pretty crazy stuff, man. Cooper DeJean, 666 with the pick 6 on his birthday. Number 33, like runway 33. DeJean 33. Kobe equals 33 and 67. You had 67 people aboard both aircraft. All 67, Kobe, 67. With the snake year, you know, Kobe the Black Mamba. All right, we're getting sidetracked. Let's Yeah, let's go back to the 201s and then we'll try to wrap this up. Man, we really got sidetracked today, but if you're new here, you're probably learning lots of new information. Shame we only got 40 people in the chat, but oh well, what can you do? I remember the good old days when I used to have 200 to 300 in my chats. But I guess those days are gone. Whoever's supposed to be here will be here, right? So see if we can find any more fun facts on the 201. I think the only major 201 I didn't show you, I talked about it, but the moon landing. 201st day of the year. Neil Alden Armstrong 201. Anybody in the chat have any big 201s that I'm missing? I said I'd give you some fun facts on the 201. Here we are an hour later. Still going. Yeah, I think we left off with Desmond Bain 201. Look at this. Back in the COVID times, of those 222 cases, 201 have recovered, while 6 passed away. Can't make it up, man. Anyways, you get the point, right? Here, let's type in moon landing. All right, here, let's do Disney. Disney's got the 201, right? Let me just type in Disney 201. Saving Mr. Banks star. So is that Tom Hanks in that movie? You know, Tom Hanks has connections to 201. In that movie, Catch Me If You Can, him and DiCaprio, they're together in room 201, I believe. Yeah, Saving Mr. Banks 201, Walt Disney World 201, Walter Elias Disney 201. Isn't that interesting? That both Walt Disney World and Walter Elias Disney, they're both 201. Oh, man. Here I am talking about Tom Hanks. I almost forgot. The biggest 201 connection with Tom Hanks. Remember, he was the first celebrity to test positive for COVID? Remember what he said? When he posted the picture with his Corona typewriter, Mr. Lance Corona from Larry Crown. Hey folks, good news. 1 week after testing positive in self-isolation, the symptoms are much the same. No fever but the blahs. Folding the laundry and doing the dishes leads to a nap on the couch. Bad news, my wife, Rita Wilson, has won 6 straight hands of gin rummy and leads by 201 points. What do you think, guys? The first celebrity to test positive for COVID makes a post about it, and he talks about losing by 201 points. You think that's a coincidence? How about that? But I have learned not to spread my Vegemite so thick. I traveled here with a typewriter, one I used to love. We are all in this together, flatten the curve, Hanks. Just happens to be a Corona typewriter, where he's mentioning 201 points. Are you kidding me? But anyways, I just wanted to show you the Disney connection, but I'm glad we got to the Tom Hanks 201 connection. All right, let's do moon landing, and then we'll come back to the LA car ramming for the people who came in late, and then we'll wrap it up. Just type in moon landing 201. Don't forget the full name of NASA, National Aeronautics and Space Administration, equals 666. There you go. National Aeronautics and Space Administration equals 666. Guys, do me a favor when you come in, please hit that like button. Very much appreciated. You know, I think this is actually in my memories today. Let's see if we can just go to the memories. Is there a way to do that on here? Maybe if I just type in Neil Armstrong. Oh, come on. What's this? William Anders, Apollo 8 astronaut who took famous Earthrise photo, dies in a plane crash at 90. He died June 7th, which was 201 days before the Earthrise photo anniversary, which is December 24th. And Apollo is 201, and Earthrise photo is 201. Wow. And there you go, July 20th, the 201st day of the year, Neil Alden Armstrong, 201. There you go, that's good enough. I totally forgot about the Earthrise photo guy. You can't say he died of old age, right? He died in a plane crash, allegedly. All right. We spent an hour talking about the 201. And again, the reason we're talking about it, South Korea floods in the news today on the 201st day of the year, weather control 201. All right, but if you came in late, we'll talk about the LA car ramming one more time. And guys, you know, this video had a lot of information in it. Maybe consider sharing this with somebody. Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Anything you can to get this information out. Very much appreciated. You know, YouTube doesn't do me many favors putting me in the algorithm. So, here, let me take a sip of water. I've been going for an hour and a half straight. Hold on. All right, we'll fly through this quickly. Vehicle plows in a crowd waiting to enter nightclub in Los Angeles, injuring 30 people from July 19th. All right, and remember, the driver was taken out of the car and shot, allegedly. So, not including the end date, this happened 76 days before the mayor's birthday, vehicle ramming 76. The gunman used a silver revolver 76, and they called it very chaotic scene 76, including the end date, 77 days before the mayor's birthday. Vehicle ramming is also 77. Car ramming 5265, California 5265. He had a Nissan Versa 75, happened on Santa Monica Boulevard 75, ramming 75, LAPD 75, order out of chaos 75. Nissan Versa, 42 and 75, like ramming is 42 and 75. Ramming 42, Nissan Versa 42, Club Carnage 42, Music Venue 42, Nightclub 42, Freemason 42. Hollywood 48, Vehicle Attack 48, Nightclub 48, Freemason 48. Los Angeles Club 147 and 48, like Freemason 147 48. And Nightclub is also 147 48, and Nightclub is a perfect match to Freemason in every cipher across the board. Hollywood Car Crash, right? Car Crash, CC 33. Club Carnage, another CC 33. Hollywood 33, LAPD 33, Masonry 33, the highest degree of the Scottish Rite, the 33rd degree. And speaking of LA and the 33, we just had the LA riots. 33 years after the original LA riots, which were all about the beating of Rodney King, which happened on March 3rd, 3-3. Protests, 33. Mexico, Mexican, race war, police, Masonry, they're all 33. You had the guy with the 33 on his back who crashed his motorcycle into the LAPD, which equals 33. And this all started 137 days after Trump took office. National Guard 137, the 33rd prime is 137. We heard from Captain Adam Van Gerpen, and this happened at the intersection of Vermont Avenue, and the gunman had a blue jersey. And we also heard from Maria Medrano, who was selling hot dogs outside the venue. That all equals 58. Adam Van Gerpen, 58. Vermont Avenue, 58. Blue Jersey, 58. Maria Medrano, 58. The Freemasons, 58. Freemasonry, 58. Vehicle ramming, 139. Freemasonry, 139. The gunman, 5 feet 9 inches tall. Freemasonry is also 59. Car is also 59. LA car ramming, 56. Hispanic male, 56. That's the gunman, Hispanic male. Masonic ritual, 56. And Freemasons, 56. He's Hispanic, 43. Freemasons, 43. Masonic, 43. Police said they arrested the driver, Fernando Ramirez, 29 years old. Masonic equals 29. And his name, Fernando Ramirez, is a perfect match to the Masonic Order in 3 out of the 4 base ciphers. The Masonic Order, also known as Freemasonry. And he was shot, which equals 62 and 17, like Mason, 62 and 17. This happened on the 19th day of the 7th month, like 197, Los Angeles, California, 197, ramming, 197 with 165 days left in the year. Los Angeles, California, vehicle ramming, 165, car attack, 165, and there was a shooting connected. Shooting and gunfire, 109.37, like Los Angeles, 109.37. And if anybody would like to support the channel, here's how you can do so. Any support, very much appreciated. And thank you so much to everyone who does support. You guys are awesome. Okay, let me turn this around. Thank you, Julie. Much love, Sandy. I'm just looking something up real quick and then we'll wrap it up. Well, hopefully you guys learned something today. Okay, I was right. So, what's crazy, I was talking about Tom Hanks, and I said, oh yeah, and Catch Me If You Can, him and DiCaprio, they're in room 201. Without even thinking, I totally forgot, man. can't believe I forgot, but thank God we found it, or I'd really be kicking myself all day. The biggest connection with Tom Hanks in the 201. The first celebrity to test positive for COVID, and not only did he have the Corona typewriter, but he's mentioning that he was losing in Gin Rummy by 201 points. I can't believe I almost forgot that. You know, Event 201, William Henry Gates 201, Preparing for Disease X, the newest pandemic simulation held 201 weeks after COVID declared a pandemic and 201 days from Obama's birthday. Hey, it's 222 right now. But yeah, let me just show you here. In the movie Catch Me If You Can, room 201 is the hotel room where Frank Abagnale, portrayed by DiCaprio, is staying when FBI agent Carl Hanratty, played by Tom Hanks, and his team track him down. The scene depicts Hanratty and his men entering the hotel and searching for Abagnale, eventually finding him in room 201. So, but I can't believe that's where my brain went when mentioning Tom Hanks, which we only brought that up because I was looking for the connection to Disney, and then that Disney movie connected to Tom Hanks. So I'm telling you guys, there's so much to read. That's why I have lists of paper written down. I should make a 201 list maybe. Yeah, I don't. Anyways, imagine the things going on in my brain trying to put all this together. But yeah. Can't believe we only got 30 people in here. That's a shame, man. We got 72 likes, so that's cool, but a lot of people dipped out. Maybe they'll come back and watch it on the replay. Fast forward, right? All right, guys, I think I covered everything I wanted to cover. Yeah, again, I remember back in the day, I used to go live. I used to have 200 to 300 people in the chat, you know. But that's what happens when you get up to 15,000 subs and then they delete your channel, and then you get up to 18,000 subs and then they delete your channel again. I'm on channel number 14 for the record. Oh well, what can you do? Keep trying, right? This information isn't for everyone, you know. All right, let me say much love to everyone. Claudia, Julie, Margaret, Sandy, Brenda, AJ, Paul, Linda, everybody that was in here earlier. Much love, guys. Yeah, they could be lying about the numbers, but probably not. It's all good. It's all God's will. It'll be what it'll be. It's all in His hands, and whoever needs to see the information will see it. But, you know, it's a lot to be a coincidence. You know, you can't say these people don't use numbers. Just look at the 222 and the 201 with COVID. Look at the 128 and the bridge collapse. Look at COVID declared a pandemic 666 days after a pandemic simulation. The full name of NASA equals 666. I just showed you every indictment from Trump was by the numbers. You know, every single thing they do is by the numbers. So, yep, got to keep the faith. Yep, that's right, Brian. I have faith, trust me. A lot of people would have given up. Remember, I've never been monetized ever. I've never made 1 penny from YouTube. So, as far as I know, I'm one of the only decoders that does this for a living that is not monetized. I've been deleted 14 times. I've made over 10,000 videos. You know, a lot of ups and downs. A lot of people would have given up by now, but I'm still here. And that's the plan. Keep going till Jesus comes. So one day at a time, man. Thank you, Brian. All right, guys. Well, I think that's it. I think I covered everything I wanted to cover. check one more thing here. We covered a lot today, that's for sure. All right. Yes, Casey, I am thankful. That's for sure. I'm thankful that God allows me to do this and that God woke me up. And thankful that we're here in the end times. I do pray that it, wraps up soon. The days are going by quicker. That's good. But I'm ready to get out of here by any means necessary. I do believe in a rapture. The question is, is it pre-trib, mid-trib, post-trib? I don't know. I just know 1 Thessalonians 4:16 through 17 says we're going to be caught up in the air into the clouds to meet the Lord in the air. So there is a rapture. It's just all about the timing. But I hope it's soon. And if not the rapture, well, hopefully they come and take me out of here soon. Because I'm fine with either option. The sooner the better, Or, if the power just went out forever, that'd be fine too. But I don't think that's going to happen. The power might go out for a few days, but I think to, roll out the mark of the beast, they're going to need power for that, and to spread their propaganda, misinformation, whatever you want to call it, their fake news. They're going to need to have technology for that, right? In order to continue with the mind control and the programming, you got to have electricity. So, that show Revolution about the power going out? I wish something like that would happen and we can all just go off grid and live off the land. That's what I would love to do, but that's just not possible right now. That takes a lot of funds. You got to buy land, and you got to really be set up. also have 4 kids and a wife, so it's just not possible right now. So of course I'd love to do that. I'd love to go off grid and still do the decodes off grid. Like I said, if it ever happens, if I ever do get a chance to live off grid, I would still do the decodes. I'd still have an internet connection. I'm just tired of paying rent, giving away every single penny I have for rent, and my electric bill was $400 this month, and it's crazy. We're paying for electric and water, and it's just crazy world, unfortunate world, but this is the way it is. Got to deal with it. But yeah, I'd love to go off grid, so you never know. But I'll never stop doing the decodes until Jesus comes. So yeah, Julie, I know there's nowhere safe to go anymore. For me, it's not really about the safety thing, because I hear that a lot. Like, oh, even if you're off grid, they can still, start a fire or flood you out. Yeah, for me, it's not about safety. I'm not trying to run away or be safe. I want to stop giving away every single penny that I make just to barely survive. For the record, besides like 2 months ago, I pretty much pay my rent like 3 weeks late. Like, yeah, it's not good. Yeah, long story short, there was 1 month a couple months ago where I was like on time. Besides that, I haven't even paid my rent this month. I'm not paying it till next Saturday. It's due on the 5th. I'm paying it like 3 weeks late, pretty much every month. So I'm barely getting by. And, it is what it is. God will provide. He always does. So, but yeah, long story short, the whole going off grid thing, it's not about safety or fear of what they're going to do. I'm just tired of giving everything away in rent, and electricity and water bill and this bill and that bill. It's a shame that the world is like this, but oh well. Yeah, me too, Paul. I want out of the matrix. Yeah, I'm in Florida, so that's probably why the electric bill is $400. But anyways, let me get out of here. Thank you guys for hanging out today. Hopefully you learned something at least about the number 201. I gave you, I don't know, about at least 20 examples. And then we talked about all kinds of stuff. So if you came in late, go back and watch. It was a good one. So, all right, guys. Thanks for hanging out today. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Do me a favor on the way out. Please hit the like and the share. Very much appreciated. And yeah, have a great rest of your weekend. All right, guys. As always, keep looking up. We are living in the biblical end of days. Jesus is coming very soon. I can't wait. And I'll see you guys on the next video. God bless.